everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. Today is Thursday, June 10th. Thanks for being here for your top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We start with a developing story out of downtown Cleveland. A 23-year-old man has been shot in what police believe is a drive-by shooting. According to authorities, the victim was shot in a silver Mercedes-Benz while on Superior Avenue. Now, witnesses say that the person was shot while in the vehicle. The witnesses also say, and the police officers say, the victim not yet identified. He was shot in the middle of the road, got out of the car, and then collapsed. Now, according to Cleveland Emergency Medical Services, he was taken to Metro Health Medical Center in critical condition. That area is currently blocked off. The latest, we had information available while the investigation continues, so people are asked to avoid that area in downtown Cleveland. And this is a developing story, so make sure you stay with 3 News for more as information becomes available. We have an update out of the situation regarding Canton McKinley High School's football team. There are now accusations going back and forth between an attorney for the head coach and the school superintendent is saying that claims being made by an attorney for the head coach who was fired for allegedly forcing a student to eat pork against his religious beliefs, that superintendent is saying that the attorney for that former coach is making false and inaccurate claims. So there was a video statement released Wednesday afternoon from Canton School District Superintendent Jeff Talbert. He says that Peter Paticos, the attorney, was making false claims by saying that evidence that was used in the firing was not proper. Here is what Talbert said. These false accusations go against the very fabric of who we are as an institution of learning that is dedicated to student achievement and success. Talbert said, at Canton City Schools, we believe in honesty, integrity, and transparency. In a press conference with the former head coach on Tuesday, his attorney, Paticos, called the charges against the coaches completely false, completely reckless, and completely untrue. He said that people who were in the room at the time of the incident directly dispute the fact that the student was forced to eat the pizza that had pork on it as a punishment for being late to practice. He says that if there were audio with the video, there would be no conversation about it. And he said that in the video, Watley could be heard saying, "You are free to leave at any time," if there were audio for the video. But that is what the attorney for Watley is claiming to say, that the student was free to leave at any time. Yesterday at 7:29 p.m., Ohio announced its third Vax-a-Million winners, and one of those winners here in the Northeast Ohio area, Sheffield Lake's Sarah Affina, is the newest recipient of a full-ride college scholarship. That was the drawing for the people between the ages of 12 and 17. She's a 7th grader at Brookside Middle School. Her district superintendent, Michael Cook, said that he literally cheered out loud when he saw her name on the screen. And the third $1 million winner is Mark Klein of Richwood, in Union County. 2 more weeks left to enter. You need to have at least one COVID-19 vaccine shot. Your deadline for the next drawing is Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So if you get your shot between now and then, you can get entered for those final 2 drawings. Now, what happens after the drawings are over in the next 2 weeks? Governor Mike DeWine says there will be more incentives. He says he's working on it. He said that today. And he said that it's not something that he can announce just yet, but it is definitely something that's being worked on. And he also said he hopes to announce some additional prizes and donations from the private sector and businesses that will be donating things. No details yet, so we'll just have to stay tuned. I'm wondering, what would get you excited about the possibility of winning? Would it be a new car? Maybe a house? Might have to move depending on where the house is. It's going to be tough to compete with $1 million, though. The prospect of winning $1 million is a pretty big one, and so is the prospect of winning a college scholarship. But we will see what DeWine comes up with. Now let's take a look at the COVID-19 numbers. These first numbers come from Johns Hopkins University. Globally, there have been a total of 174,528,205 cases reported of COVID-19. In the U.S., we have 19.1% of those cases, with 33,418,788. Globally, there have been 3,763,835 reported COVID-19 deaths. Here in the U.S., we have 15.9% of those deaths. Now, this number, actually, there is some fluctuation, I guess, as the data comes into Johns Hopkins University. This number is about 50 lower than we saw yesterday, but the number of deaths being reported now in the U.S., 15.9% of those global deaths, is now 598,456. Let's take a look at the Ohio numbers from the Ohio Department of Health. We've seen 344 new reported COVID-19 cases in the last day. We've seen 49 new hospitalizations and 454 people currently in the hospital. Out of those people, 133 are being treated in the ICU, and we've seen 6 new ICU admissions. All of those numbers are down, by the way, except for the new ICU admissions. That's the same from yesterday. More than 41% of Ohioans are completely vaccinated. That's more than 4.8 million people. Close to 27,000 people became fully vaccinated in the last day. More than 46% of Ohioans have started the vaccination process. That's more than 5.4 million people, and more than 14,000 people have started it in the last day. Something you might want to do after you get your vaccination, if you're able to, is to travel. And if you want to travel to Miami, that's going to get a little bit easier starting in November, because Spirit Airlines will now be expanding its service out of Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. They'll start routes from Cleveland to Miami in November. So you can put that on your calendar. Right now on Spirit Airlines, you can travel from Cleveland to Atlanta and from Cleveland to Las Vegas. Now, yesterday, we saw the news of Cleveland Browns Chief of Staff Callie Brownson having been pulled over for a DUI. An OVI is the official charge, and she pleaded no contest to that on Tuesday. Well, today, we're now seeing that Cleveland Browns players have tweeted in support for Callie Brownson. Browns linebacker Mack Wilson tweeted, "Live and learn from mistakes. We got your back, Callie." And Browns defensive back MJ Stewart tweeted, "We got your back, Callie." What we did learn yesterday when we saw a dash cam video from Callie Brownson, and also from the incident report, from the police report from her being pulled over in Brunswick, is that she had a .215 blood alcohol concentration, which is more than twice the legal limit of .08. That was after she took a breathalyzer test. And in the body cam footage, she can be shown expressing concern that she would lose her job as a Cleveland Browns coach because of this, asking the officer to let her just walk home, which she pointed to and seemed to imply that she could see it from where she was stopped. Of course, the officer said, "No, I have a job to do. I understand that you really like your job. I also really like my job. I have a job to do. I can't let you drive home from here, and I can't let you walk home from here." Now, we did learn from head coach Kevin Stefanski yesterday that Brownson will not be fired. She has been suspended, and we will learn as time unfolds how long that suspension will last. In the baseball world, the Tribe has traded first baseman Jake Bauers to the Seattle Mariners, so that means he won't be waiting long until he faces his former team again. Now, he was traded quickly enough that he'll be with the Mariners to play the Detroit Tigers today. He'll be back in Cleveland on Friday because the Tribe is taking on the Mariners this weekend for its first homestand at full capacity. Now, in return for Bauers, Cleveland will receive a player to be named later. So we will have to see what comes back to Cleveland with Bauers now gone to Seattle. Now, people continue to wonder what the new name for the Tribe will be, and we're taking a look at some of the other options beyond the initial options that we included in our poll. As a recap, the ones that performed the best in our poll were Spiders, Guardians, Municipals, Rockers, Buckeyes, and Cleveland Baseball Club, in that order. Well, the Tribe actually already owns trademarks for 3 names that they had prior to 1915: the Blues, the Bronchos, and the Naps. Now, a lot of people are not excited about the Blues, but some are suggesting the Blue Sox. Speaking of trademarks, 92.3 The Fan's Daryl Reuter discovered this week that the Tribe has already been challenging trademarks for some names. This is probably just a way of going after bad faith actors or squatters who are squatting on these names, but some of those include Foresters, Heroes, and Squires. Now, Foresters goes back to the Forest City nickname that was given to Cleveland years ago, and the city's first pro baseball club was actually named the Forest Cities. That was in the early 1870s. That did not stick around for that long. And of course, some of you had thrown things out like the Wild Things. Probably not going to end up going that route, but the Tribe has said they've got close to 2,000 names on a list that they're looking at, so time will tell. Now, this morning, there was an incredible ring of fire moment in the sky in Cleveland during the annular solar eclipse. This is something that is known as the Ring of Fire. It was seen across the northern hemisphere this morning, where the moon blocked out a big chunk of the sun. Now, the best places to see it were Canada, the North Pole, and Russia. Parts of the U.S., that did include Northeast Ohio, but we did see a chunk of sun blocked at sunrise. Now, if you missed it, we streamed it live on WKYC.com, and you can find that on the article on WKYC.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be linked in the show notes. Coming up this weekend, something you need to know about. Secretary of State Frank LaRose will be speaking at the Ohio Flags of Honor Memorial. Now, this is a memorial display that travels around the state of Ohio. It's been doing this for 16 years. This is actually the last year for it, and it's coming to Louisville on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. So we've got all the details on WKYC.com. This is more than 900 flags put up to honor military members who were killed in action during the wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, and the war on terrorism. If you want to see all about the backstory related to that, go ahead and head to WKYC.com. That memorial will be available to the public starting at 6 p.m. on Friday through 2 p.m. on Sunday. And with it being Thursday, I'd say it's about time for your good news break. There's a new episode of It's All Good News out, and there are a lot of animals in this week's episode. I dare you to watch it and not smile. Remember, it is all good news. It is your weekly edition of All Good News. It drops every Wednesday at 1 p.m., so go ahead and check that out. I also tweeted it today. If you want to take a look at that, it's _ Stephanie Haney, so you can easily find that. That's it for your 3 News Now update today for Thursday, June 10th. I'll see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for more 3 News Now.